Hey guys, welcome back. So last time what we did is create our index page, and you can see we just put a little bit of text in there just so we can see that it worked. But this isn't very good, obviously. What we're going to do is actually put some proper content into that now. So let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do though is just move this over to here to the side, just so make a bit better use of the space we have. So start by getting rid of that hello everyone text that we did last time. We don't need that anymore. What we're going to do is if you're using Sublime Text, you can actually just type HTML and press tab, and it should fill in this whole HTML document structure for you. If it doesn't work, or you're using a text editor which doesn't support that feature, you can just write that out yourself. It doesn't really matter. Okay, so before we get started though, all we're going to do is above that, we're going to put something called doc type declaration, and just watch what I type, and you can type the same thing out. So doc type and then HTML, just like that. So what is this? What we've just done is we've told the browser that this web page is going to be implemented using HTML. Okay, we're just basically telling the browser what language to kind of expect. All right, don't worry about that too much. Just put it in there. It's not really important that you understand it at this point if you're just starting out. So really don't worry about that if it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to you. So just a real quick overview of what the HTML structure is for those who don't know. This is your HTML website structure. You have HTML tags right here, which basically says the page starts from here and ends here. Okay, so it's in between these two tags. At the top here, we have this head tag, and what you put in the head tag is kind of the declarations about the site. You can include files in there if you want to. You can also put something in this title tag right here. I can put the name of my site. Remember I said I'm calling my site Doodle instead of Google. I can say, welcome to Doodle, and save that. And if I refresh this page now, you'll see in the tab up there we have welcome to Doodle. So anything you put in this title is going to be displayed in the tab text up there. Okay, so again, it's not so important you understand what this head part really is at this point. You'll learn what we do and how we use it as we move through this course. And then finally, the body is just where you put any content of your website. So anything that goes in here will appear on the page itself. Okay, so that's it, a real quick overview just for those that are starting out. We will increase the pace as we move through the course, so if you're watching this thinking, why did you just explain that to me? Don't worry, we're gonna pick the pace up, okay? So just a quick overview. So the first thing we're gonna do is create a div in here. So I'm gonna get rid of that text and just create some space. I'm making some space, and then I'm gonna put a div. And again, if you're using Sublime Text, you can just type div and press tab, and it will fill it out for you. Put the opening and closing tags on. If it doesn't do that, you can just type these out, okay? So what I've got here is an opening div and a closing div. And then inside there, we're gonna give this div the class of main section, and classes are just identifiers for each div. So when we style this, we can use this class to target this div right here, and divs are just containers in HTML. Okay, but I am assuming you know the basics of HTML, so I'm not going to explain everything as if you were a beginner. I'm assuming that you have some knowledge, but any questions at all, just let me know. Okay, so moving on, in there we're going to create another div, so another div like that, and create some space. And then we're going to give this div the class of logo container. This is going to be the container for our logo, like the name suggests. Okay, and then inside there, just type img, which is our image tag, and then src, you see it put that in for me. This is the source of the image. So this would be the path to the image you have. Obviously, we haven't downloaded any image yet. So what we can do just to make sure this works is go to Google or something, any web page with an image. And then what I'm going to do, if I right click on this Google logo, I can copy image address like that. Or if you really want, you can open it in a new tab and then just copy this URL up here. So I'm copying that URL. And if I put it inside this part right here, this src, so I've pasted that URL in there. And like I said, this is just to show you what it does, okay? And then if I refresh this page now, make sure you remember to save it too. If I refresh the page, you'll see we have this image in here. Okay, so great. Obviously, we're going to change this image with our own one real soon, but for now, we just stuck that image in there. And what I'm going to do is underneath this logo container div, I'm going to create another div. So underneath there, I'm going to create another div, which remember I told you divs are just containers. And then inside there, just give it a class of search container, like that. This is going to be the container for our search part, because what this page is going to be is the home page like this. So it's we're going to kind of create this sort of thing. We have an image, which is our logo, and we're going to have a text box, and we're going to have a search button as well. Inside there, just to finish up, we're going to create two elements. We're just going to say input like that. If I press tab, it doesn't put a closing tag on it, it just does a 1 because input elements don't have closing tags. So what this is going to be is our text box. So give that a class of search box like that, and then we're also going to give it a type equals text, and then finally we're going to say name equals term, because we are going to put this input inside of a form probably in the next video or something, but just to show you what this does, just give that a save and then refresh the page and you should see a text box in here. Alright, so we just created a text box, and the very last thing we're going to do in this video is just to copy that line there and paste it below, and then change type equals text to type equals submit like that. And then the class isn't going to be search box, what it's going to be is search button like that. And then the very last thing is get rid of this name term right from here and just put value equals search like that. And I'm going to give it a capital S as well, because what this value is the value of the button, the text value. Because wherever you put in this value part here is going to be displayed on the button itself. So when I refresh the page, you'll see this. I'm going to put it back to search though, and refresh the page again, you'll see it goes back to here. And if you really want, you can go to this input type text and put a placeholder on it. I'm not going to do this, but if you put placeholder and then say enter search term or something like that, and then if I refresh the page, you'll see that we have this placeholder, and then when there's no text in there, it will display, and then as soon as I start typing, it goes away. So it kind of just helps the user decide what to enter. But I'm not going to do that because Google, if you notice, doesn't do that. All right, so that's it. I'll get rid of this placeholder part, but feel free to keep it if you want. And this is the basic structure of our web page. Obviously, we haven't styled this, so it doesn't look great, but we have the basics of it, you know, the Google homepage right now.